Let's go to Ames, where this was a huge showdown today in the Big 12. You've got number 23, Iowa State, number 7, Kansas. And guess what? TJ Otzelberger now has 2 top 10 wins this season. Final score 79-75. The Cyclones win at Hilton. Magic is real. Iowa State is 16-4. Your reaction to the Wizard of Oz doing it again?
Yeah, I'm shocked, but we shouldn't be because he does it every year. He does more with less than almost anybody in the country, right? He didn't fit at UNLV, but he fits at Iowa State where he was an assistant for McDermott, for Hoiberg, and now again, he's doing it with a combination of some transfers, and Lipsy came back, right? He came back, and that helps, but they beat TCU on the road without him. They beat Houston. I mean, this is a team that probably is as surprising as any team in the entire country right now.
But why are they surprising at this point? Why
are
we
looking at talent?
But why? But we've said that the last 3 years, right?
Have you talked to him? Did you talk to him preseason? What did he tell you?
He seemed quietly confident, but I don't think it was quietly confident to the point of 16-4 right now with a win over Houston, with a win over Kansas. You know what's amazing about it? Like here's one of the craziest stats that you're going to find in college basketball. In the last season and a half, dating back to the start of the 2022 season, Iowa State has 8 wins over AP top 10 teams. 8 wins. Like, why are we surprised that he's finding a way to be able to get this done?
Here's the thing with them. You know what? They fall off at the end of the season. The last couple of years, they've fallen off, and they could do it again this year, but they've done enough.
Sweet 16.
But
they've fallen off.
You know what it is? It's. I think that Iowa State is very similar to Providence in the sense that they are a team where they know what their culture is. They know what their identity is. They know who they are and how they want to play. They have a home court advantage that levels the playing field for them every time that they play at home, right? And if you are able to beat good teams at home, you are that's going to raise your metrics. It's going to raise your profile.
They didn't raise their metrics that way. They raised their metrics by blowing out shitty teams in the non-conference. That's how they did it. They only had 1 walk-on. So when they were up 30 against shitty teams, it wasn't like they were putting on 4 walk-ons. So that helped their net. But they've proven to me that, you know what, they're not just a team that beats up on shitty teams. They're now beating Kansas, Houston, at TCU. So now they're for real.
And here's where there's a bit of a difference with Iowa State, Jeff. We always talk about them for being tough and defensively oriented. Today, they hit 14 3-pointers in this win. 14. I look at it from this standpoint. You got Trey King from Eastern Kentucky a couple years ago. You got Curtis Jones from Buffalo.
He's been awesome lately.
He's been awesome. So the point is, they've gotten these transfers, gem transfers, not from other high majors. They're not going to get that. They've picked up the mid-major guy who's come in and embraced it, and they can win in different ways. That's the thing that I think with Iowa State. It's not always Milan. Say the last name. You're Mr. Pronunciation. Momcilovic. He was in single digits today, and they hit 14 3-pointers in one. Now, let's flip it for a moment. What is Kansas? What's the state of Kansas? What's your outlook on Kansas?
I mean, it hasn't changed. I don't think they can win it all. They don't have the depth. They don't have the shooting.
But here's the wildest part about it, right? This is the first time Bill Self has ever been 4-3 in the Big 12. They have Hunter Dickinson, dude. Yep. Kevin McCullough, dude. 2 guys that could end up being Big 12 Player of the Year, right?
Yep.
DeJuan Harris, the best winner at the point guard spot that you're going to find in college basketball, right? They got KJ Adams, who really fits at the 4. And you know what they found? They found Johnny Furphy. He had 15 points again today. He's averaging 16 points over his last 4 games.
But they've lost 79 to Iowa State.
I know, but they've lost 2 of those games. Like, that is the wild part. Is they got 4 guys.
How many points did they get from their bench today, Rob?
2.
Not great. That's
great.
average.
I know.
Jackson is giving them nothing.
But my point is, when we came, what we said all year long was that what they need to find is that 5th guy. Sure. And they found that 5th guy.
You know what they need now?
You
know what they need now?
They don't have a 6th guy. Exactly. They need a 6th guy.
And the other thing is, when they get into a tournament setting, whether it's Big 12 or NCAA, they're not deep enough. They're not, and they can't win a grinder of a game like that when they're shooting 3 of 22 from 3 or whatever they're going to be. Because they're going to have one of those in the NCAA tournament. As great as Bill Self is, he's not Houdini. He's not. You got to find a bench. and it's kind of on them. They didn't have enough shooting or a bench or really a team that fits together because DeJuan Harris has not gotten better offensively. He hasn't. To me, you have to force him. He's got to be more assertive looking for his own, and that hasn't happened.
So Iowa State is in second place in the Big 12 at 5-2 in the league.
Crazy.
Who is the best team in the Big 12?
I mean, Houston's the best team.
Houston.
But I picked Kansas up until a week ago.
Okay.
And now I'm like, all right, maybe 4-3. I don't know. I think this thing's going to go down to the end.
Yeah, it's going to go down to the end. Whoever wins the league is going to be like 15-5. But the thing about Houston, I know they don't have those great wings yet. They are 2 possessions away in road games from being undefeated right now. A 1-point loss at TCU and a 4-point loss. That was a 1-possession game at Iowa State from being undefeated. And the one thing we've learned this year, there ain't no shame in losing a road game this year.
We got